Next, we're going to do the two city ballot measures, 26108 that continues the public campaign financing. And we have two speakers that will have 7 minutes each. First, Brian Roeder, the co-founder of New Seasons Market. Brian?
Just walking up here counts part of the time. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming out tonight, and appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about this. 5 minutes is really short. I've been doing a lot of these, so I'm going to speak quickly and then try and leave some answers for some questions. 26108 is a measure about an existing program. So if you vote yes on 26108, you're voting to keep a program that has been in place over the last 5 years in place. There's no new taxes involved in it, and there's no new fees involved in it. And the reason I got involved in the campaign is because I was hearing that somehow the business community was opposed to it, and I thought, well, I'm part of this fairly large company in Portland. We have 1,800 employees, and I'm not opposed to it, and most of the business people I know are supportive of it also. The reason why I'm supporting this is because it levels the playing field for campaigns. And the way it works is, if you want to run for city commissioner or auditor or mayor, and it's a little bit, the program's a little bit different for each of these, but I'll just talk about for commissioner. If you want to run for city commissioner, instead of having to sit in an office somewhere and make phone calls to wealthy people and beg them for money to run your campaign, you can go out to organizations like this, community associations, go to the farmers market, go where there are regular, ordinary Portlanders, and get 1,000 people to sign a petition saying that they'd like to see you run, and have each of them write you a check for $5. And if you're able to do that, then the city campaign finance fund will fund your election to a limited degree. So you get $150,000 to run in the primary, and if you make it through the primary, then you get $200,000 to run your campaign in the general election. You can't take money from anybody else. You can't spend any more than what you get from the city, and you're not obligated to do it. So no one has to do this, and if you want to run under the program and your opponent doesn't have to. I think that it's been a very successful program. It's been around for 3 cycles, so since 2005. And out of the 3 cycles that we've had it, there's been two people who have been elected under the program. I think that it's a good return on our investment, and one of the things that you'll hear our opponent, when John stands up here and talks, he'll talk about how it's too much money. And the way I look at it is, first of all, it's capped at 0.2% of the budget, not 2%, but 0.2%. If you take the money that's been spent over the last 5 years on the program and divide it by the number of registered voters in Portland, it's cost each of us 68 cents per year to run the program. So it doesn't seem like an unreasonable amount of money. Now, when you add it up, it is real money. Well, and what we're seeing in some of the campaign against it is, hey, this money could be spent on other things, and it certainly could. Although it's the way the budget works, it's not that you would take all this money, and it's been $1.7 million that's gone to candidates over the last 5 years. It's not like it's gone, if we didn't spend on this, it would go to one particular program. And some of the things that I've been reading have been somewhat disingenuous, like for instance, gee, we could have more teachers, or we could have more textbooks, and of course anyone knows the way the budget works knows that the city budget doesn't pay for teachers or textbooks, which is one of the reasons why the Portland Teachers Association has come out in support of voting yes on 26108. If you look at the coalition of individuals and organizations that are supporting it, I think it says a lot because it's such a diverse group. You have business leaders, you have many of the unions are supporting it, you have ecumenical ministries, so the faith groups are supporting it, Urban League of Portland, many of our elected officials are supporting it, environmental groups, so it's not the usual us and them. There's a big group of people who have banded together and thought that this program is good for Portland. If you look at what's going on in the world around us, in the United States around us, and if you look at all the big money that's going into the campaigns and the big money that's buying all the ads and that we're being bombarded with in here and in other parts of the country, it's even the people who don't agree with 26108, with the voter-owned election program. I have yet to find a person that doesn't think that we need some kind of significant campaign finance reform. In Portland, we already have it. And I hope that we're going to vote to keep the program because I think that it'll send a good signal to the rest of the state that maybe we can get campaign finance reform in our state, and that we can, and if we model it well in the state, then maybe we can export it to other parts of the country. So that's essentially what the program is about. I don't know why we would choose to get rid of something that we already have, go back to the days when people were raising money in $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 increments, when we have the opportunity to have all of our votes count the same way. So I think I'm going to stop it there to leave opportunity for people to ask any questions that they'd like. Yes, sir.
Who were the two people elected under this? I know Amanda was one.
That's great, and actually Amanda Fritz was the person who was most recently elected, and it's interesting in terms of diversity that the program offers. Amanda Fritz is the 7th woman to serve in the City Council, Portland City Council, in its 160 years of existence. So just to give you a sense of how a program like this can work, and she herself has been very explicit in saying that there's no chance that she could have run a campaign. She didn't have the connection. She's a nurse, a neighborhood activist. There's no way that she had the connections to go out and raise the money to run a legitimate campaign. The other person was Eric Sten, and after he helped shepherd the program through the council, then he decided that he would run on the program, and so he did. So we've had one incumbent run on the program and one new person run on the program. Yes?
I think that some people hesitate to support this particular program because of the negative news associated with a particular candidate.
Yes.
I can't remember her name.
Well, if I never heard Emily Boyle's name
Yeah.
again, I would be very, very happy. Let me quickly say something about this. At the first cycle, the very first time, there was a woman named Emily Boyles, and she and an associate of hers scammed the program. They did something that was illegal. They faked a bunch of signatures, and they just gamed the program completely. The man who helped her with it actually was convicted of a crime, served time in jail for it. Emily Boyles has a lien on her for the rest of her life. If she ever makes any money, the city of Portland's going to try and grab the $90,000 that she got from her. The important thing to realize is it was a new program. There were things about it that weren't designed as well as they should have been, like many new programs, either in public or private sector. But there's a Citizens Campaign Commission that was part of the original legislation, and their job after every election is to analyze what went right, what went wrong, and how can we tweak the program so that we can make it work better in the future. And of course, that's exactly what happened, and that could never happen again, and they put safeguards in place. And there has been no problems like that since then. So yes, that did happen, and yes, our opponents are, because that's the one thing that they can grab on, that's the one thing that they are grabbing on, and they're making lots of noise about it. If we looked at the conventional financing system and looked at all the fraud and all the problems that happen with conventional financing, I'm not sure that they would agree that we should throw out the conventional financing system, although I would support it if they proposed it. That's it. I'm done. Thank you very much. Flip the ballot over. It's on the back side of the ballot. So make sure you turn it over and go to the back side. Thank you very much.